I'm gonna save this one because I accidentally deleted it last time. Table top. Just in case. Now, to create the table, I'm gonna say File, New, Family. Face-based this time, because I've come up with a better idea. We're going to compile everything into one. We're going to create all these parts separately: the table, the leg, and the supports. So that would be the table, the top, the legs. We've done. Well, we're going to do the tabletop here, and then we're going to create the supports separately, and then we're going to compile them all into one major family project. So for this, I select that, say CS for create similar, type CS for create similar even, offset 150, that, oops, I've accidentally put 2 there. So DI for dimension, type that, keyboard shortcut, equal these, select those, equal those, DI again. So I'll change that one to length, put a label there on, call it width, not change, sorry. WIDTH. Ooh, what am I doing? Cool, so now we've got these ready. I'm going to do the same thing as the previous tutorial and say I'm going to open up the table leg, which was this one. I know that one's named table leg, but this one was the latest one. This is the one I brought in. This is the one we created. And in part 2 we actually included that top piece there, so go back to that. I'm going to load this into project and close. Family 3 is the new tabletop. I'm not going to place it anywhere. Cool, so now I'm going to bring these out to more realistic numbers, and yeah, I'm going to create my extrusion. So create extrusion, pick lines, this, lock, that, lock, that, lock, that one, lock, trim. Remember, if you forget to lock one, just remember to use the align tool, press AL for align, click the reference plane, then click that. I can't do it, but you should see a lock button there after that, and that's cool. So now I can change these. You don't need me to show you that it works because it just does. I'm going to change the scale here to 1 to 5 so it's more readable. Come to 3D mode. I'm going to come to front side, select this, say CS for create similar, there to there, DI, there to there. Put a label on, call it thick. Grab this, drag it down, drag it back, lock it. Now the reason I brought in the table leg is so that I bring in the material of the table leg, because I don't want to recreate the material. So I'll select this, give it a material parameter, new material, say OK. Come here, select the material, and as you can see it's loaded in, say OK. Well, I'm gonna say use render appearance because I like that. Say OK, and there you go, done and done. So now I'm gonna change the thickness, make it more realistic, maybe 50 millimeters thick. There you go, that's a nice tabletop done. Now, as I said, we're gonna create the profile parametrically. How do I zoom in? So this is a certain radius, that's a certain radius, and that's a certain radius. That's going to be cut out. Oh, I forgot to mention. Let me go to the top. Not forgot to mention, but I'm also going to create the fillet edges. So select this, say CS. You know what? I mentioned earlier in the video, part 2, but I am going to take part 2 down. You know what? Ignore what I just said. I will have taken it down, and I'm going to put this one up there. Select this, say CS, because this is a much faster video here, much better. DI for dimension, there to there, there to there, there to there, there to there. I will have probably made a video saying that at the beginning of the video. So I'm going to select all of these using the control button and say new, call it tabletop fillet. So I'm going to double click this now, drag this back, drag that back, same with this, same with that. And I know it looks like there's an easier way, but the reason I'm doing it is just to make it easier to see things. So I say type A alpha align, I want to align that to that point. It's the point we want. So we want to make sure we've done the correct point. That's why I'm dragging them back manually, so that I can see the visual confirmation also that they are done. And then that last one. So then, now that those points are locked, when we connect them, these points will be automatically locked to those points because it's an extrusion. And there you go. That's the fillet done. These parts here, and remember I've done them as 45 degrees. Well, mathematically, I shouldn't really have to explain this, but because this side or this side and that side are equal, this angle here is automatically 45 degrees, and I can change that from the tabletop fillet thing here. I'm going to move that down. I like to keep these together, length and width together, and then thickness together. Most important and most changed dimensions going at the top, and then least important as you go down, and then the ones that you shouldn't really change below that. We'll get to those in a minute. So I'll come to 3D mode and we'll see that as it is. Now I want to cut the profile. As I said, it's going to be a circle, a semicircle, well, a quarter circle, and then another one and another one. I'm just going to get into it. So to do that, I'm going to close all windows. We need to get to this point here. So remember, the lines we're cutting are there because this line and that line represents the top and the side, yeah? So that's why we're not doing it the other way around. So file, new, family, metric generic profile, or metric profile, there you go. If you're following an imperial, obviously find the imperial one. Now I'll say line this side. No, sorry. First thing I'm going to do is create the semicircles. Not semicircles, quarter circles even. So select this, type CS for create similar, offset 100. This is just to place them down. Fifth, well, doesn't matter what number you choose as long as they're. Oops. I accidentally put one on this side. You don't need to worry about the reference planes. You know, it's good practice to do that. Just make these not a reference. We'll keep the outside ones. So first things first, I'm going to say DI for dimension. That to that, that to that, and that to that. We're not going to worry about the overall length. We just need these individual parts. So I'm going to select these two, name them A, because I want this particular thing to have the same dimension up and side as well as this one. Sorry, upwards and sideways, vertically and horizontally. I'll just call it A, something nice and easy to remember. Just remember which ones you picked. call that one B, hold control, select these two, and call that one C. We don't want to set an overall length because that will break the reference planes. So now when I move this one, and I move that one, and I move that one, they all move together. But I know I'm generally going to use something around 50 millimeters, so I'm going to bring these all in. I just like, you want the default numbers to be as close to what you intend to use it for, just to prevent problems on the way. So I'm going to type DI for dimension and just put the dimension here, but not put any parameter on it. So just for reference purposes, select all of these and bring them in. I'm going to use about 50 millimeters. No, we'll keep it at 80 and I'll show you how to play around with it when you load it in. Now I'll type LI for line, pick this curve. We want to do one curve at a time. You want to come here to snap so that it's got that line as a tangent and that line as a tangent, so it's the perfect circle quarter. Select this, 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 and this, and type HI. Now I want to align that with that and lock, that with that and lock, and same here. Now I'm going to select this, pick that one, call this one A. We don't need to do this step now because these are all locked, but we're going to do it anyway just as it's good practice and we won't be over constraining anything. So I'm going to type HR for resetting and I'm going to do the same thing. LI, oops, LI, and then pick what we want. Same thing. Well, I'm going to press enter to do it again. I'm going to put this one down too, but because we're isolating we don't really need to worry about doing them individually. Type HI to do that, AL for align, that to that and lock, that to that and lock, lock. Ooh, dear. Okay, it's telling me we're going to over constrain. Don't worry about it, we just need to lock that one. And we'll select this and we'll give it B. Yeah, so we do need to put these on. Don't worry about. We do need to align to one side, but I think it's telling us we're going to over constrain it if there's too many things locked to this. But see, it still works because it's locked to that one and we have the radius. Yeah. Now this one again, we'll do that thing. I'm going the other way around now. Call it C. Remember to pick the correct one. It's nice and easy to see. So now I'm going to do this thing again. HI. Oops. HR. Select. 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 Using control. Type HI. AL for align. That to that and lock. That to that and lock. I'm going to try this one anyway. Yeah. It's having problems. HR to reset, and that's fine. That's your profile. The lines done anyway, the main lines that we need to worry about. Now we need to say what sides we're going to cut from. Obviously, as I mentioned before, type LI for line, pick lines and lock, that line and lock. Then I'm going to type TR for trim, that to that, that to that, that to that, that to that, and we'll test it. We'll drag this out, yes. Drag that out, yes. I'm going to type Control Z twice to undo those. Get back to my default values. Now I'm going to save this. Table cut profile. I'll call it 2. I'm going to close these two. Yes, I'll save those. Those are the previous ones I did. Ones I made earlier, as the chefs say. This is the one we were doing. So I'm going to load this into the project, and if I expand families I can see it there, profiles. So as I mentioned, we need to put the parameter. I would put the parameters for this in first. So I need to create a parameter to tell it A, B, and C. A is going to be this. B is going to be that curve, and C is going to be that curve. I'm just going to say A is 0.1 times the whole thickness. B is 0.6 maybe. No, A will be 0.2. This will be A will be 0.25. B will be 0.6, and then C or 0.5. Whatever. I'll just play with it. 0.25, 0.6, and the rest of it. So 1 minus those two, which would be in this case 0.15, because that's the smallest, it looks like. But the beauty of it is you can play around with it because it's been created in that way, parametrically. So I'm going to say create void forms, void sweep, pick path, this edge, that edge, that edge, that edge, that edge, that edge, that one, and that one. Yes. Oh, sorry. I'm going to escape out of this. Press the X. Say yes. Like I said, I want to do these parameters first. So, we have A, B, C. We can edit these, but we want this family to tell those what to be, and we want those to have a coefficient relating to the thickness. So we want them to be relating to the thickness. If you don't know what I'm saying, don't worry about it. For now, just follow what I do. I'm going to say thickness. I'm going to add new ones. I'm going to call one, new A. Make sure it's a length, yeah? New B, new C. Now, I'm going to name these in this. They've just been created and put there. I'm going to give them the same names as the reason I gave these A, B, and C and those A, B, and C is just so that it's easier to match them up. It doesn't really matter. We're not going to edit them in the program. So we want A, which is the bottom one, I believe. Yep, bottom one. It goes from bottom to top. A was going to be 0.21 thick. Yeah, we'll go with that. Sorry, 0.25, 0.25 times THK. These are case sensitive, by the way, so remember that. Then B will be 0.6 THK. Whoops. You have to put the times in. And then, what's the next one? So 1 minus 0.6 minus 0.25 equals 0.15 times THK. Apply. We're not done yet, though. So what I'm going to do, I would put those into here first. We're going to tell this to be A and tell B to be B, etc., etc. But first, I want you to see it happen live, to fully understand, if you don't fully understand what's happening yet. So I'm going to... No, we'll do that now. Sorry. I've created those parameters in here for this project. Now, I'm going to double click this, and I'm going to say I want A to equal A in here, A in there to equal B, sorry, B in there, in that family to equal B in this family, C in that family to equal C in this family. So now all I have to do is type the thickness in, and these will automatically adapt. Say OK. And then if I want to change these values, if I want to change the ratios, I can come here and edit these, just the number, and it will sort itself out. If you don't get what I'm saying, keep watching, you'll get it in a minute. So now I'll say create void form. Where's my watch? Sorry. I like to void sweep, pick path 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Now, as you can see, I can select profile. I'm going to pick that one. It's already got the profiles I've loaded in. If yours doesn't quite fit that way, see, as you can see, it's cutting into the table. If yours is outside the table or above it, you can play around with it here. So you can flip it left and right, and you can even, if you want to flip the other way, you type 180 in here, and it will rotate it 180 degrees, and then flip it from there. So toy with it. I'm gonna say 0 because mine is fine, and flip it. Apply, well, come to modify, say yes, and click it, and there you go, done. All those curves are finished. Now, if I come to front view, if I change the thickness, I can type manually in there, or I can stretch this. They all adapt. And when I change this one, 0.5, and then maybe make this one 0.25. There you go. And what you could also do is you could make other A's, B's, and C's and add those into, or things that you can, where you just type in what you want in this column, and it will take those and multiply them by the thickness and automatically calculate the other two. There's so much you can do with that. I'm not going to do that here, but just remember there's so much you can do like that. And there you go, that's the tabletop done. So in the next video we're going to create a new family, which will be another face-based family. No, you know what, we'll do that one in part 3. No, sorry, part 3 is the next one, part 4. Part 3 we're going to create these parametrically so that they can adapt, and then in part 4 we'll compile them all into one big table. So see you then. I'll drag that out here.